What's up guys, Creighton here from LaunchPad.com. Now 2 days ago we got a very intimate look at Mac OS X Lion. And some of you may have watched the keynote already and some of you may not have watched the keynote already. But Mac OS X Lion is the next version in the Mac operating system right after Snow Leopard. So if you're looking to get a Mac or you're looking to upgrade, these are kind of the main features that Mac and Apple has built into the operating system. And so we'll kind of just run down the list of probably maybe the top 10 newest features that are a part of Lion. One of the biggest things that Apple is doing, and their their endeavor, is multi-touch. We see this on the iPhone as well as now more integrated into Lion. So you'll have multi-touch gestures to travel through screens when you're scrolling. Well, we've already had scrolling, but they've integrated it much more. One of the biggest things is tapping to zoom, smart zooming, really using your trackpad to your fullest potential. Whether you have a Magic Trackpad or you do have a MacBook with that multi-touch trackpad. It uses the ability of all 4 fingers, so you can do stuff with 2 fingers, you can do stuff with 3 fingers, and even 4 fingers to go throughout all of the Mac operating system. Now that's very nice, but if you are on maybe like an iMac and you upgrade to Lion and you want to use some of those multi-touch gestures, you will have some trouble if you don't have a Magic Trackpad. And I do kind of predict that they should start shipping the Magic Trackpad or some type of trackpad with the iMacs now, because they're integrating these trackpads into Lion so much. Next up we have full screen apps. Before, apps usually ran windowed and they were really hard, that if you wanted to go full screen and you wanted to switch back, that it was very difficult to do. So if you had a full screen, maybe application such as a game or something, you would have to exit out of the game completely just to get back to your desktop. Apple, again, is always innovating, so they're taking advantage of full screen apps. And what they're allowing you to do is just on your iPod Touch, or just like on your iPod Touch, where you're able to switch between screens. It's basically what you can do between Apple and the Mac operating system. So if you have a full screen app and you swipe, I think it's 2 fingers you swipe, you can actually move that window over and get to anything on your desktop, swipe 2 fingers to get back. That's very smart and very simple. Now all the default programs that usually do come with your Mac operating system, such as your camera app, your photos, any of those apps, they will all be integrated fully with full screen. And with Lion, developers will also be able to more naturally and easily do full screen apps. That's very nice for people who like working on one thing or focusing on one thing. But they've made it easy so that you can switch back and forth. That's where kind of mission control comes in, which is another feature. It's a dashboard for all of your applications that are open. And it'll group them by what application is open. So if you have 5 Safari documents open, maybe a address book or whatever, and you go into Mission Control, you actually see those windows grouped by application, and you're able to sort through them, view them, and kind of view what's open. What's come over from the iOS platform is the multi-screens, which is very nice. So you're able to create a screen dedicated maybe for your iCalendar or your mail, so you can switch between those screens just as you would switch between an iPod when switching back and forth through the pages, which is very nice, so you don't have to close everything down, minimize, maximize, and have a whole bunch of windows just scattered all over the place wondering what to do. So that's very nice that they've kind of added Mission Control to keep a kind of a bird's eye view on everything on your system. they're now fully integrating the Mac App Store. It will be fully integrated into OS X Lion, so you're able to get all of your applications, all the popular applications, both free and paid, from the Mac App Store. And that is kind of the place to be for developers, because it's one kind of easy, concise way to also get verified software. We don't see anything with this in Windows. We don't have this all-in-one store where we're able to view and kind of see these applications. That's just not there yet. So the Mac App Store is there to help us get on the right software and not create a problem for ourselves when we're trying to find software and so we don't find anything malicious. Everything through the Mac App Store is just like it is through the Apple App Store. So you're able, if you download it and you buy it once, you can download it on your other computers without having to go repurchase it. There's no need for disks because it keeps all that information in your account, and it keeps you up to date on what software you do have. It's also nice for updates as well. Kind of moving on, there's Launchpad, which is just like your iPhone with the applications. You have all of your applications that are on the screen just like they would be in an iPhone. You can swipe through them, you can have different screens of apps, you can have folders just like your iPhone. So basically it's a giant iPhone, and it's a similar interface, and so you're able to move applications around, group them by folder, group them by pages, whatever floats your boat, and you're able to quickly get in there, launch applications, and it's easy for updating and also downloading. They'll automatically be added on in there. So really, this is kind of an extension from iOS. Moving on, there's Resume, which is a very neat program, and it's something users of all operating systems have really been looking forward to. Resume gets you back to where you were right when you close down the program. So if I had to restart my computer and I had maybe 8 tabs open in Safari and I wanted to get right exactly back to it when I restarted my computer, so if I was installing software and I really needed to restart my computer, but I didn't want to lose anything, what Resume does is it actually saves the state of where your application is. Things like having things open, what position they were on the screen, what was last highlighted, where windows were placed. All of those features actually are saved when you close down the application, so that next time you start it up, everything will start back to where you had it. That's very nice for people who do work with a lot of documents and they want everything to be exactly where they put it every time they start up. So you can resume your work. Keyword, resume. One of the very nice features that I found probably to be the best features on there is Autosave and versions. Autosave kind of does away with that save function. Once you save it once, you don't have to save it again because it's always saving your work for you. And it saves it so that, if you crash and you forget to save at that crucial moment, it's able to resume it and get it back when it does crash. This kind of goes along with also versions as well. Versions is sort of like Time Machine, but for your documents. So if you started working on a document and you wanted to go back a couple revisions or go what you had put a couple revisions ago, you don't have to go look for other saved documents, you don't have to save constant versions. It's exactly like Time Machine. If you ever use Time Machine, you go back and you can actually compare documents side by side, and you can kind of compare versions back from when you started the version to now, so you can see what you've done and how far you've come. And that's very nice when you're working with large documents. Another amazing feature is AirDrop. It's a Dropbox-like service, so if you have friends with other Macs, you can share files with them without emailing it to them, putting it on a USB and giving it to them. It's a way to send files of any size to and from Macs without using a third-party service or a external disk drive or any side of drive. And that's kind of really the new features, but Mail is getting a very well-needed update. They have a ton of new features in there to help reading and sorting things, and there's a lot of features that go into that. It has a different reading pane, so it's totally redesigned. You have a wider reading area and a left-hand side, a very kind of small left-hand side area to see where your messages are. You have favorites folders. You also can view multiple counts. Search is very much updated in this version, where you can actually use Boolean searches as well as searching subjects, message bodies, contacts, and you can really kind of get in deep to find exactly what you're looking for. So they've kind of updated it there relatively quickly. Now, not a lot of people play around with it, but it is there. Apple does have a server version of Lion, but instead of having a separate version or having a separate install, it's actually just going to be add-ons from the Mac App Store to make it into Lion server. I'm not really sure how much that will cost you, but to turn your OS X Lion computer into an OS X Lion server, you'll have to go get a couple apps from the Mac App Store, and once those are installed, you basically do have a Lion server, which is very nice, and it kind of keeps everything consolidated. There's a lot of features that really goes into OS X Lion. I believe they said that there's 250 new things, and I could go through them all, but I think that'd take too long, and I don't think you guys want to watch probably an hour-long video of all 250 features. But I can kind of just run through them a lot. There's FaceTime calling, there's setups, there's scripts, autosave, of course. You can lock versions on autosave. You can make duplicates. Autosave has a lot of features. And so that about does it. If you have any questions for me, email me, Creighton@logiclounge.com. Visit our tech blog with tons of other news stories at logiclounge.com. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/logiclounge, and be sure to follow me on Twitter for everything technology, twitter.com/Creighton. Till another episode, we'll see you guys later.